Hello friends, this is me, your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today with another videos to give a review on another book which is A Path to Peace and Prosperity. This book is by Dr. Muhammad Naveed Akbar. In this book, we are learning that how we can build a beautiful world, which step we can take, and how we can do this. So we have already reviewed the two chapters of this book in the last videos. If you haven't watched it yet, you can visit our channel and watch it there. So we will continue our next chapter, which is chapter 3 in this book video. And if you wanted to buy any one of these best-selling books, you can visit our Amazon page and buy it from there. So the chapter 3 which we're going to see today is the power of education. So as you guys all know that the education is so important in our lives. It will help us to have some knowledge about everything. So the same thing we will going to see in this chapter, the power of education, charting the destiny of humanity. Education is the cornerstones upon which the pillars of civilizations are constructed. It is the equalization of all, the means through which people are lifted out of poverty. And the key to expanding the full capabilities of human society, where knowledge is freely and universally disseminated. Where knowledge is freely and universally disseminated, people are endowed with the ability to make enlightened choices. Devise innovative solutions and add their part to the general advancement of humankind. But when education is overlooked, whole societies are hurt. The divides between the haves, the divides between the haves and have-nots grow, opportunities dwindle, and cycles of disadvantage continue. It is not possible for a peaceful and prosperous world It is not possible for a peaceful and a prosperous world to exist without strong support for education. It takes more than giving access to school. Education must be structured so that it engenders curiosity, encourages critical thoughts, and and teaches people to get through an increasingly changing changing world. It needs to tackle not only the academic kind of knowledge but also morality, cultural enlightenment, and everyday practical ability. The effect of education is far is felt far beyond the individual, but also morality, cultural enlightenment, and everyday practical ability. The effect of education is felt far beyond the individual. Education helps countries reap a lower rate of crime, improved economic progress, and sound democratic institutions. The societies investing in lifelong education remain flexible, responsive, and able to bridge difficult times. We need to establish a world of beauty only by establishing the culture that supports and honors education as the ultimate transformative tool. The basis of knowledge. Fundamentally, education is the pursuit of knowledge. It is through learning that human beings have not been able to make such great strides from the discovery of the wheel to the exploration of space. Knowledge gives people the power to know their world, pose meaningful questions, and create solutions to the most critical problems of the day. But the knowledge is not fixed. The greatest minds of all time, from Socrates to Einstein, knew that wisdom lies not in knowing everything but in the desire to always seek new knowledge. The moment we think we have learned enough is the moment we stop learning. Thus, education should not be viewed as something that one acquires and then stops at a diploma or a degree, but as a lifelong process of discovery. The quality of learning also counts. Learning facts for the sake of memorization without knowing the context of what they are memorizing accomplishes little for an individual's development. Genuine learning is comprised of curiosity, argument, investigation, and hands on learning. When students are taught to question and question others, they learn to be inventors and not mere recipients of knowledge. They learn to become builders of tomorrow and not mimics of yesterday. Education as the path to equality. One of the largest injustices in the world is the unequal allocation of educational opportunity. Some children spend their childhoods with excellent schools, resources, and educators, while others fight just to get the minimum education. This inequality breeds poverty cycles and restricts the potential section. This inequality breeds poverty cycles and restricts the potential of whole generations. Education can never be a privilege for the privileged few, but has to be an inalienable right ensured for all. If children are kept away from school because of financial difficulties, discrimination based on gender, or political turmoil, they are denied the opportunities to emancipate themselves from despair. Those societies who do not provide education to the entire citizenry ultimately bear the cost in the form of stagnation of economies, social tension, and unfulfilled human potential. Equality in education is more than just access. It includes the equality, it includes the quality of the learning as well. A student at an overcrowding a student at an overcrowded school with underpaid instructors and outmoded supplies is not really being afforded an equal opportunity. Governments and communities need to collaborate to ensure all students, no matter their background, are given the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed through an education that promotes their health and well-being. 3.3, breaking the cycle of poverty through education. One of the strongest methods to end the poverty cycle is by education. With the opportunity to learn, with the opportunity to learn, people are equipped to better their own economic conditions. With the opportunity to learn, people to learn their are equipped to better their own economic conditions. They are trained to get established jobs, launch businesses, and contribute to society in productive terms. Poverty in turn traps individual in an endless cycle of deprivation. Without skills or knowledge, aspirations are within reach, and survival comes ahead of self improvement. This is the reason that education needs to be. This is the reason that education needs to be made a priority in underserved communities. When children from poor families are able to access quality education, their potential is realized. Research has Research has indicated that every extra year of education can add considerably to a person's lifetime earnings. In addition, educated people are more likely to invest in the education In addition, educated people are more likely to invest in the education of their children, creating a positive effect, creating a positive ripple effect that spans future generations. It also enables individuals to make sound decisions regarding health, family planning, and active civic participation. It also enables individuals to make sound decisions regarding health, family planning, and active civic participation. Education makes a long Education makes a populace less vulnerable to disinformation, corruption, and exploitation. Education makes a populace less vulnerable to disinformation, corruption, and exploitation. As people are knowledgeable, they will be better standing standing up for themselves, communities, and themselves. A gateway to understanding and tolerance. Education is not merely the acquisition of knowledge, it is also about the development of understanding. In an increasingly interconnected world, individuals need to develop cultural sensitivity and comparison. Most conflicts stem from ignorance and fear of the unknown. When individuals do not understand other people, they are likely to form prejudices and divisions. Schools and educational institutions have the important responsibility of educating students on various cultures, religions, and ways of thinking. Being exposed to various ideas being exposed to various ideas allows people to have open minds and see the common humanity that binds everyone together. Education defeats hatred by filling it with understanding. When history is taught honestly and in full, it enables individuals to learn from the past and strive for a more equitable future. When students are taught to discuss ethics, justice, and human rights, they become adults who appreciate fairness and equality. An educated society is a tolerant society, one that embraces diversity instead of feeding it. 3.5 The role of education. The role of education in sustainable development. The fate of our world is in our ability to educate the coming generation on sustainability. Environmental issues like climate change environmental issues like climate change, deforestation, and pollution need creative solutions that can only be generated by well educated minds. Learning should equip learners not only to contribute to the economy but to preserve and restore the environment. Sustainability education transcends science, teaching individuals about responsibility, responsible consumption, ethical leadership, and how human actions have an impact on the environment. Schools must teach conservation, renewable energy, and sustainable agriculture. As part of the curriculum, teaching future leads that the health of the planet should be their number one priority. Societies that adopt education as a means of sustainability produce citizens who are responsible for their environmental impact for the environmental impact. Societies that adopt education as a means of sustainability that produce citizens who are responsible for the environmental impact. Companies that focus on sustainability gain conscious consumers. Governments that invest in environmental education make policies that protect natural resources for future generations. Education is the bridge that links human development, that brings human development with environmental stewardship, developing critical thinking, developing critical thinking skills. An effective education system is not just about teaching students what to think, but how to think. Critical thinking is one of the most precious abilities a human being can acquire because it allows them to analyze data, challenge assumptions, and make rational decisions. With the prevalence of misinformation and the blurring of lines between opinion and fact, the power of critical thinking is more crucial now than ever. Critical thinking emphasized education motivates students to interact with ideas, motivates students to interact with ideas instead of simply accepting them. Rather than memorizing facts and parroting them, student needs to student needs to be prompted to wonder why things are the way they are and how they could be changed. An open classroom environment of problem solving, discussion, and debate enables people to learn more deeply about complicated issues. Critical thinking also cultivates creativity and innovation. Most of the important breakthroughs in history, whether in science, technology, medicine, or human rights, were achieved by people who refused to accept accepted wisdom. If students are instructed to question, test, and look for superior solutions, they will be tomorrow's problem solvers. Conformity has no place in education. Instead, it must be about inquiry, curiosity, and the pursuit of wisdom. Education as empowerment. One of the greatest tools for personal and social empowerment is education. It gives individuals the information, skills, and self assurance to take charge of their lives instead of living at the mercy of circumstance. An educated individual is less susceptible to being manipulated, better able to defend their rights, and more capable of coping with a more complicated world. For women and marginalized groups, education is especially life changing. In much of the world, a lack of education restricts opportunity and reinforces cycles of disadvantage. When people from disadvantaged groups are educated, they are empowered to challenge social norms, contribute to economic development, and drive social change. Education empowerment also translates into mental and emotional resilience. Education builds resilience, self control, and purpose. When individuals are empowered to shape their minds, they are more assured of themselves and more driven to contribute to their communities. An educated world is an empowered world, one where individuals are masters of their own destiny instead of being at the mercy of circumstances. The teacher's role in shaping the future generations. Teachers are some of the most important individuals in any given society. They are not only instructors but mentors, role models, and guides who mold the minds and hearts of the future generations. The type of education children get is always determined by the level of dedication and expertise displayed by their teachers. An excellent teacher accomplishes more than imparting facts. They create curiosity, stimulate passion, and establish a love of learning. They know each student's strengths and weaknesses and use Use them to help them be the best they can be. In most instances, one teacher has the power to alter a student's life by instilling in them self confidence and encouraging them to do their best. But for teachers to thrive, they need to be accorded the respect and support they deserve. Teachers are underpaid, overworked, and undervalued in most regions of the world. Investing in teacher training, equitable salaries, and improved resources is one of the best means of enhancing education systems. Education systems. If we desire a future with innovative minds and empathetic leaders, we first need to invest in those who mold young minds. 3.9 Technology and Education, the new learning paradigm. Technology has revolutionized learning. Gone are the days of physical classrooms, online classes, virtual classes, and intelligent learning tools now dominate the horizon. Education has never been so accessible. So accessible. Information is no longer restricted to bricks and mortar classrooms. Education has never been so accessible. Information is no longer restricted to bricks and mortar classrooms. Now it is all at the reach of anyone connected to the net. Technology can close gaps in education, particularly in poor communities. A kid in a village can get the same a kid in a village can get the same knowledge as a student in the world class school in a big city. Online education websites offer individuals of any age the chance to learn new skills, whether from coding lessons, language lessons, or college lectures. But technology in teaching has to be utilized judiciously as it provides fabulous opportunities. Equally, pitfalls it poses pitfalls like screen dependence, disinformation, and limited human contact. The aim is not to do away with traditional methods of education but to improve them. Combined learning, uniting digital equipment with classroom based instruction, has the potential to provide a good balance and sound education system. Education for global citizenship. In an increasingly interconnected world, education should not be confined to a national interests. It should prepare students to be global citizens. The challenges humanity faces: climate change, poverty, power, and technological advancements require solutions that transcend borders. Teaching students about global issues, cultural diversity, and international cooperation helps them develop a broader perspective. Global citizenship education fosters empathy, cooperation, and responsibility as values. It makes structures it makes students consider how their behavior affects the world and how they can be part of creating change for the better. Through learning about various cultures, histories, and worldviews, people become more tolerant and less prone to polarizing ideologies. And genuinely enlightened education system not only teaches academic brilliance but also moral obligation. It helps students realize that they belong to a common human family and that their decisions, both large and small, impact the world in which we live. Education needs to produce well trained workers, but also thoughtful, empathetic, and active world citizens. The power of education. This chapter points out the transformative potential of education in defining individuals, societies, and the future of humankind. It starts with a stress on the significance of knowledge as the basis of advancement. observing that the real education stimulates curiosity and lifelong learning instead of mere memorization. The conversation that turns to education as a route to equality, illustrating how quality education can end cycles of poverty and create opportunities for all, irrespective of background. It emphasizes the critical thinking role, calling on education systems to move away from memorization and emphasize problem solving. Education is marketed as a tool for empowerment, especially for vulnerable groups, enable them to feel confident and have the skills required to break the barriers of society and economy. Teachers are uplifted in their role, stressing how they impact the minds of the young and how much money should be put into training them and their health. The chapter also explores the influence of technology in education, noting its potential to expand learning opportunities, while also cautioning against over reliance on digital tools. It concludes by emphasizing the importance of global citizenship, education, encouraging individuals to see themselves as part of a larger world community and to act with responsibility, compassion, and awareness of global challenges. Ultimately, the most effective instrument for creating a fair, creative, and peaceful world is education. When knowledge becomes a priority, societies become great, people are empowered, and humankind draws nearer to fulfilling its highest possibilities. If we are to create a world that is truly lovely, we first need to create a culture that places education as the fulcrum of advancement. So, this is all we have from this book. I hope you guys like this chapter, like the review of this chapter. If you do, don't forget to press the like button. I'll be back with another chapters and another books to give a review on. Till then, just take care and goodbye.